What kind of kit is that?
Oh, this is my Rhodesian camo quasi Bush War era kit.
Don't we say Zimbabwe?
Do we? I am a tough guy. I am a tough guy.
Hi everyone, I'm Liam McCluskey, and you're watching the Misplaced Weapons channel. I'm here at my kitchen table, and today we're going over the RPK.
Gentlemen, I know you're on the toilet. I know you're watching this, drinking your beer, consuming your coffee. Make sure you like and subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. I actually really enjoy reading your comments when I'm on the toilet, so it's like we're connected in the world wide web of toilets. So I appreciate it. Gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, the talking Rhodesian camo outfit. Today we're going over my Romanian RPK. I snagged this with my own money because I wanted to show it off. I'm a fan of RPKs and light machine gun platforms, especially Eastern Bloc platforms. For whatever reason, I gravitate towards those. You know, I love my American saw, you know, the M240 Bravo, all that stuff. It's all great. But for whatever reason, I'm just always consumed by these Eastern Bloc LMGs of some capacity, right? I think it's because they're a little bit foreign to us. I think it's because they also just have this crazy sex appeal, if I'm being honest. They just look great.
So, first off, how do you pronounce RPK? Well, there's actually a Russian pronunciation, which is kind of hard to pronounce.
Now, for this part of the video, I decided to go with a Rhodesian vibe because when I think of RPKs and their use, for whatever reason, I also think of like the Rhodesian Bush War slash we're going to flank her in right, huh? South African Bush War or the Angolan War. Now there's some good pictures of the SADF guys running RPKs. Now the RPK of all the Russian small machine guns essentially is, it's good. All right, I know what happened. I hit this while running up and it flung off. Now I've had the 545, the RPK 74 on the channel with Brandon Herrera. Of course, that's linked. Now I've had the RPD and I've had the PKM. So I have a fair experience behind it, but not militarily, of course. I'm just a LARPer on the flat range. But that's okay, you can still get some time and kind of see what works and what doesn't work, and it kind of puts you in their shoes. Not to the same capacity of you being in a conflict zone and dying, but at least to kind of seeing, walking a mile in their shoes, at least of the kind of kit they would wear, the stress and duress of actually running around in said kit with a load-bearing rig and ammo and all this stuff you needed to survive and not die.
Rechnoi Polmyoit Koleshnikova. Rechnoi Polmyoit.
Real quick before we kind of dive into the gun and my thought process on the RPK, of course. Oh, I also did the American RPK. If you haven't seen that one yet, go check it out. That was a really fun one, and similar thought process and vein in that one. But for this one, if I was going to do a RPK type setup for I am right now, I decided to go with the Rhodesian bush war, like I was saying. I got the Rhodey camo, got the short shorts. Sometimes they drop down low, but they should be up to probably around here. You can start to see my tan line coming through. I've been working on that tan line for you guys to get a little tanner thighs. It's not a perfect blown kit. Here's why. So mainly the accuracy of certain things is there, right? Rocking short shorts, Rhodesian short shorts, rocking tennis type shoe. They had tackies. These are of course Converse Chucks, just because it's the cheaper alternative. And then they had the Rhodesian top camis. Sometimes they'd rock shirts, sometimes they'd rock their shorts, right? That's a more Rhodesian thing.
The RPK saw extensive use wherever there essentially was an AK in conflict.
So the fact that all this kit technically existed within a close proximity of each other, within a close timeline of each other, means they technically could have been used. I don't think the South Africans would have been using a Rhodesian camo by that point in the war. So it's a little bit like, not really, if I'm being honest, but technically it's like, and then they also had cut ties with, you know, the UK, so I can see them possibly getting, or someone possibly bringing down some pattern 58 webbing from the UK, even though they didn't really feel too strongly about those UK people. So I've recently purchased actual Rhodesian webbing from the Bush War. The sad part is it's been caught up and hasn't got here yet. It's been months. So when I was building out this kit for practicality, at least for this part of the video, one thing I wanted to do was, of course, have a lot of mags on me so I could keep feeding an RPK. Now up front, I got 6 mags with the chest rig, the Pattern 83 chest rig. I thought about doing a Chi-Com rig, but honestly, Chi-Coms to me are one, uncomfortable and only hold 3 mags, and then they have like the spare pouches for frags, but they're not bad for what the timeline they were. They're actually very forward thinking and cool, but they're just not great. So we got in total, we have our 9, and then we have our 6, so we got 15 mags of AK ammo on you, and then whatever you would carry on your person. So you have, like, say, a drum mag to some capacity. The weight of 7.62 by 39 is a lot heavier than, say, 5.56 mags, so you're gonna feel a little bit like over encumbered. But it's honestly kind of come down to like be a man. But I also say that, and I'm getting just absolutely cooked out here by the sun. The environment is a little bit humid / super hot. So it's like all culminating together to be like suckfest, if I'm being honest with you guys. You know, it's YouTube and we're having fun, and I'm showing off some fun stuff. We're having a good time, right, Joe? Nice. But we're going with the Bush War vibe, and this is more like Bush War-y. So they did a really good job with it, pretty quality looking build. You got, you know, the cool things about the RPKs, you got a bulged up receiver over here, thicker barrel. You have your longer cleaning rod, of course, got the bipod, got more advanced iron sights. Now, if you watch this channel, you're already probably a gun guy to some capacity, right? And you've already seen other RPK videos. So litany of other YouTubers have done it better, but of course, being me and the big chimp that I am, I love showing off new guns on the channel. So at least new guns to me. And this is no exception. Now, it does have a side rail on here, and I was thinking about running it, but I kind of, for this video, at least part of the segment, I decided to stick away from it, but you do have the option of throwing a optic on there. I just want the little red dot for now. Ideally, now, if I was actually like, if the Russians invaded, if the Chinese invaded, I'm here in Arizona, you know, probably would want, well, of course, a faster cyclic rate. That'd be more cash money. Where I'm at in the valley is, it's like flat, and then you have your mountainous terrain on the kind of like the border of around the valley. Of course, you do have some smaller mountains popping up within the valley, but overall it's pretty flat, so I want to be able to see out in the distance. Now, if we go to Africa in the Bush War, it's really called the Bush War, right? So a lot of that African territory was very flat and then dense with, what is that term? Shrubbery and bush, right? So let's compare it to one of my other AKMs. This is another Rhodey inspired AK build, but you can kind of see the overall size comparison. It's gonna be a little bit smaller. Funny enough, the RPK stock is shorter than a regular AKM stock. It's much more wieldy, of course, just being the regular rifles. It's a 16-inch rifle, nothing crazy. It makes you even appreciate crinks when you get your hands on a crink. It makes these things feel like they're huge, but yeah, I mean, after running the RPK all day, this feels like it's a toy. And the RPK, of course, is just a thick bitch. Now, one thing I appreciate about this handguard is it's a little bit fatter to go around the barrel, but 2, it seemed like it didn't heat up as quick as, say, a normal AK handguard. These things start to get cooked pretty quick, and I always like to run gloves when I run an AK. It's just a no-brainer for me. And, you know, these aren't, of course, historically accurate, but for the sake of the talking bit and me handling these guns, they're getting cooked by the sun, so they are pretty hot to the touch, not just from shooting, but just from being baked by the good old fireball in the sky. I will say that this is a lot of kit to carry, and I almost think while it's a lot faster to run, you know, running magazines, I think the chopped RPD was a lot more fun to run. It was a little bit lighter, a little bit more wieldy. Yeah, it had drum mags, yeah, it had a belt. You technically could rock a nutsack of some kind attached to that RPD, and then you'd have your, you know, your belt in there. So that's also an option. Now, running belts is also a little bit of a pain compared to mags. Now, you don't get to have your cake and eat it too. There's always trade-offs. So ideally, I would like to try, maybe push myself, run a full auto RPK, run a full auto RPD. Ideally, I'd rather do a chopped RPD with the front sight suppressed and then run this guy just normal size.
Gentlemen, we of course have to thank the sponsors for this video. Gunspot is an online listing and auction site for both new and used firearms, accessories, and more. Buyers get great deals and never pay out-of-state sales tax or any hidden fees like some other auction sites. Big thank you to Gunspot. Go check those guys out. Another sponsor is going to be Nocturne Industries. If you like carrots but are tired of eating them and want to see in the dark, check out Nocturne Industries. Big thank you to those guys helping me see in the dark, and I'm a big fan of what they are doing and excited to work with them here at the channel. Also plan to have some future content showing off some more of Nocturne Industries housings and tubes in case you are interested in purchasing some night vision. It is the future. It is where we are going.
So as far as like civilian use, you know, you gotta think like, okay, if I was the end of the world's happening, the Russians are invading, the Chinese are invading yet again in this scenario, you know, it's like, hey, you know, having an RPK within your survival group isn't a bad idea. Helps keep heads down, especially if it's firing a lot faster than a semi-auto, and you know, it has a lot of ass behind that round. So not as much as, you know, a PKM would, which would be more ideal if you're working with a bunch of guys, but a smaller, more mobile unit. Having an RPK gives you a little bit both of firepower, maneuverability, and all of that stuff. So there, of course, are much better guys out there that have been there and done it downrange. So listen to those guys. Bunch of subject material on the South African Bush War and Rhodesia. So go study that stuff and kind of see how it played out there. I'm just a dude in the flat range trying to make fun YouTube videos for you. So I'm trying, but I'm still a big chimp and I'm still slightly retarded. Well, gentlemen, I think that pretty much covers it. We just took a nice, fun, hard look fast at a relatively plain Jane RPK. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe. If you're not yet subscribed, what are you doing with your life? What are you doing? If you want to support the channel in any way, shape, or form, Patreon is an excellent way to support the channel. We have a Discord, we stay up late, we talk about girls, we have a good time. Merchandise is an excellent way to support the channel. Really helps me out and cover costs to bring you guys content. So greatly appreciate it. As always, stay easy, stay breezy. I'll catch you on the flip. That is incredibly enjoyable. Hi, I'm Dixie Normus, and you're watching Administrative Results. Of course, all the days, I always forget something when I come to the range. It is iconic. And then you'll say, hey man, what kind of kid is that? And I'll say, it's Rhodesian. You'll be like, I thought we say Zimbabwe now. I'll be like, do we? It'll be pretty good.